Hello, this is a Pacesetter training video where we're going to talk a little bit about general adjusting philosophies. In other words, we'll talk a little bit about what it takes to be a good adjuster, what this job entails to be successful, and we'll talk a little bit about how also to be an elite level adjuster, top tier. So in general, which you may already know, but what we do as independent adjusters is we contract with an IA firm, in this case, Pacesetter Claims. Thank you very much for coming to us and being a part of our team. And anyway, what we do is we will assign claims out to the field adjuster. That adjuster is then going to make contact. Typically, that's going to be with the insured. It may be with the insured and their contractor, maybe a public adjuster. It could be also, for instance, a property manager. But in generally, it's most commonly going to be with the insured. So we make contact with them. We log that information that we've made contact, and we are going to inspect their property, talk to the insured, go over that inspection with them, answer any questions they may have, and then we're going to come back and take all of our information that we've gathered in the field, our photos, our measurements, our notes, any documentation that's been provided to us by the insured and or the contractor or PA. We're going to consolidate all that and input that into our claims management software, which would be something like Xactimate or maybe Symbility, and we're going to upload that for review. That's generally what an adjuster does. How successful you are at this relies on several different things. Certainly learning the craft, learning what all of the elements and areas of adjusting are, and being trained, getting experience, using that training, and building your repertoire of becoming a good adjuster and understanding this industry as well. So that's going to involve, of course, people skills, because we deal with a lot of people, particularly the insureds. We are going to learn construction. We need to know scoping, theoretical scoping information, repair methodologies, material identification. A lot of this is going to apply of when we're in the field scoping damages and scoping properties. Then we need to learn the various software platforms, Xactimate, Symbility, whatever your estimating software is that you use, exact analysis if we use Xactimate, and the profile, the carrier does use exact analysis, we would need to know that. It might be some internal claims management system, something, for instance, that citizens may use. It also involves just having some general computer knowledge, learning how to use Microsoft Office, how to use browsers, internet browsers, how to organize in your computer, things like that. So there's a number of different skill sets that a good adjuster will learn and excel at to be successful at their career. So one thing you want to think about is when we deal with claims and we're dealing with people, we need to always underline that with our sense of ethics. And of course, if you've gone through any training, got your licensing, or doing your CE credits, you are going to be required to go through some ethics training. We're not going to go through a lot of that here, but in general, what you're keeping the idea is pay attention to ethics, and in general, that just means do the right thing. That can be a little bit gray about what is interpreted as the right thing, but generally as adjusters, go out and treat people with respect, treat them professional, keep a professional attitude, be courteous with people, understand that when you go to an insured's property to inspect or speak with them during the claims process, they have damage to their property. You're going into their world. You may have worked all day and you're tired, and you're going out to inspect this property at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's the last one of the day. But you need to have the same attitude and freshness that you had on the first inspection. You want to treat that person with the same level of respect, courtesy, and professionalism as you do all of your adjusters. You're walking into their world, and their property is damaged, and they are concerned about that, and they want to be taken care of. They should be. They pay premiums. We owe that to the insured. So keep in mind, just treat people properly. You know, be professional, courteous, kind, and uh, use your knowledge to help them and educate them, and let them know that you are serving them. So the other thing you need to know again is learning your craft, learning your software, learning all the stuff we talked about as far as scoping, learning construction. That is gotten through training. You can do all that on your own in the off season when you're not working. Get on the internet, read, look at articles, um, purchase some books if you need to look at construction methodologies, for instance. Take some training classes. All of this is going to combine together to make you a better adjuster and to make you more successful. Keep in mind that also the person that we are all working for is the insured. So everybody involved is paid by and is working for and servicing the insured. That means everyone at Pacesetter, the file reviewers, you, the managers, the desk adjusters, everybody in accounting and HR and AR, the owners of Pacesetter, everybody is working to service technically the insured. The carrier themselves, everyone at the carrier, is also working for their insureds when the claims process is in effect. So just keep that in mind. Think of it as, again, like the golden rule. If you were the insured, you would want everybody working for you to help you to give you the best service possible. Think about also when you go purchase a product or a service and you have that service done immediately. Let's say you call a dishwasher repair person out to your house to fix your dishwasher, or you go buy a pair of shoes or go out to dinner. You can rate that service or that product virtually immediately after it's purchased. You can't really do that with insurance. We all have insurance and we all pay premiums, but we don't really know exactly what we're paying for until we file a claim and the claims process begins. Yes, we are paying for insurance. We know we have some type of insurance, but we really don't know exactly what that is, and we don't know how we're going to be treated until we file a claim and the claim process begins. As an adjuster, keep in mind that you are the most important person in the property claims process. Why? Because you're the person that spends the most time with the insured typically. And certainly you were the person that goes out onto their property and shakes their hand and looks them in the eye and sits down sometimes at their dining room table and talks to them and helps them and answer questions. So you, more than anyone in the claims process, can make or break the claim. Yes, they're going to be dealing with multiple people, from the call center that they may talk to when they file the claim to the desk adjuster and everybody in between. But again, you are probably the most pivotal person that they're going to deal with. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with them. We get paid by the insured. We're representing the carrier when we're going out to their insured's properties. So keep that on the top of your list as kind of a guiding light for your ethics and your serviceability, helping provide service to them. So we deal with a lot of things in Pacesetter, and we're all working, as I said, towards the insured and helping service them. So when you send claims in to file review, for instance, they send something back to be rejected, keep in mind they are not in an antagonistic role with you, and neither are you with them or anyone at Pacesetter. We are all one big family and team members that are working together to provide a product and a service to the carriers and their insureds, and that's what they pay us for. So we want to come together to do that the best way we can, with organization, with skill sets, knowledge, experience, training, whatever we need to do to work together. So keep that in mind when managers are working with you or file reviewers are sending things back. We're all trying to help you as an adjuster, help us, so we can all work together to provide this product. As far as file review goes, some adjusters maybe don't know this, but you can talk to file reviewers. If you have something you want to discuss with them on a file that they've rejected, it's okay for you to contact them through email or call them. They'll be happy to talk to you. You can discuss. They can explain a little bit more about why they maybe asked you to do something. Sometimes maybe they've made a mistake, and maybe you want to discuss that with them, and y'all can talk. And they maybe say, "Oh, you're right. I checked the guidelines. Don't do that. You don't have to do that part of the rejection. Thank you for letting us know." Again, we're working together as a team. Now, you always are juggling multiple balls as an adjuster. But really, foundationally, you're juggling three balls all the time. And that is speed, accuracy, and thoroughness. Those three parameters never go away in everything that you do as an adjuster. What you want to do is always maintain accuracy and thoroughness. You never want to let those two parameters or metrics suffer or drop. Speed is always the first thing that you sacrifice. If it takes you a little longer to do an inspection in the field so that you can maintain those accuracy levels and thoroughness, you thoroughly inspected that property, you looked at all the downspouts, you walked all the elevations, you looked at all the outbuildings that are covered under the policy, the fencing that may be covered, the insured's personal property. Ask them about that. Maybe as you're walking around, take a look and look at the maybe the yard lights or some of the statues. See if they got damaged by some hail impacts or something. Remember, we're service the insured. Do a good job for them. If it takes you a little longer to do that, do that. We're servicing them, and we want to provide a good product because it's going to come back on you if you continually do not do good inspections and you miss things. We are going to find out about that. The carrier is going to find out about that. It may be some additional training that may be involved that you might need. But again, it's generally common sense. Just do a good job. When you're out there, inspect thoroughly and accurately. It's the same thing with writing estimates. When you get back, if it takes you a little longer sitting at your computer to write an estimate, to maintain that thoroughness and accuracy on your estimates and your files that you're uploading, do that. Don't take shortcuts and go too fast. Check your work. Make sure all your depreciations are set properly. Make sure your narrative is written properly. Make sure you have your invoicing done properly. Make sure that your photos in the correct order and all of them are labeled properly. Check all that. The reason why is because this is going to reflect on you as an adjuster, because as independent adjusters, typically everything revolves around your reputation, and typically your reputation is going to revolve around a few different parameters. One is your product that you upload. Another parameter is your attitude. How easy are you to work with? Are you always combative or argumentative? Are you easy to work with? Are you playing as a team member? Another really, really big one, and put a big star by this one, everybody, is cycle times. Yes, we can all make mistakes here and there and get better in training and experience on scoping, inspecting, and writing estimates. But typically there is no or little excuses for not keeping proper cycle times. There's nothing that should be keeping you, other than, of course, some type of life situation where you can't do this. But even then, you may want to notify somebody briefly. But typically, there shouldn't be any good reasons for you not to keep cycle times. Or if you can't meet cycle times, make sure that you're communicating that regularly with management. That may be through emails or through a note system in the claims management system you may be working with, or if you're working with Exact Analysis, directly in Exact Analysis through their note system. Put a note in there. If you know you're going to be late turning your estimate in, you're waiting on a contractor estimate or something like that, or a DA to call you back for a coverage discussion or decision, put a note in Exact Analysis where everybody can see that you're going to be late, and give us the reason. If it's a good reason and you're regularly updating your notes and letting us know what's going on in the claim status, you're doing your job. That's what good adjusters do. They communicate, they do it regularly, and they do it professionally. So just keep that in mind. Cycle times are important. One thing, going back to those balls that you're juggling, the speed, accuracy, and thoroughness. Speed will come with time. It comes with training. and experience and combining those two into systems. Everybody wants to go fast. Time is money, certainly. Again, I can't stress enough though, don't go too fast to where your accuracy, your thoroughness, and by proxy, your product suffers. It will reflect on you. Take the time to do it. We don't know how long it takes you to scope a property. We don't know how long it takes you to sit at your computer and write an estimate. But once you combine all that together and upload the product and we can see it, we will know what your accuracy and thoroughness levels are. And that's the most important thing. Again, you want to become fast, accurate, and thorough altogether. But just keep in mind, speed comes with time. It comes with experience, training, knowledge, and combining all of those together in systems that allow you to increase your speed but still maintain the other two metrics. So things you might want to think about as an example of those systems are how you take photos in the field. Do you take photos randomly and you kind of don't have a system of how you scope a house and a property, and it's kind of random, and you go back and you find that you often have to move photos around a lot to get them in the right order? Well, you may want to think about when you earn your off time, how can I scope better? How can I set up a system to have a rhythm of scoping the same way every time in a system that's consistent and accurate and thorough? And I take my pictures within this system so that when I upload all of my photos out of my camera, if you do it this way, into Xactimate, for instance, they are generally already in the same order, in the correct order. You don't have to spend a lot of time moving that around. Again, think about systems. Another example may be in the field of how you write your notes in the field, how you take measurements. Do you write a lot of words? In the field, you may want to start using abbreviations. You may want to start converting everything in your measurements from feet and inches to decimals. There's another video we have on that explains the importance of that. It's something you don't have to do, but it's something that will speed you up, and it's very accurate, and you just change the way you think about measurements in the form of decimals and how you enter that, how you write it. That's an example. Create systems that help you maintain that accuracy and thoroughness at all costs, but that increase your speed. If you need help and ideas on that, you can certainly do some reading on the web about that. If you want to call some people at Pacesetter, we have different people that with a lot of experience that can talk to you about that and help you with some of that. So just keep that in mind. All this boils down to is really one thing let's talk about. You know, we'll end this shortly on some elite adjuster practices. But all this really boils down to is you. Your whole reputation as an independent, again, relies on those metrics of your product that you upload, your attitude, your cycle times. Think about all of that combines together over a short and a long career. It really all boils down to how successful you are with getting claims volume, year after year, consistently over time. And what that boils down to, ladies and gentlemen, is money. So everything you can do to increase your knowledge level, to increase your systems, to work better and learn and be more professional, to write better estimates, to do better scopes, so that you increase your reputation and your value so that Pacesetter or any other carrier or IA firm that you might work for wants to use you. That's what elite adjusters do, among many other things, but they work. They have long careers and they do a lot of claims because everybody that comes in touch with them wants to use them. They do great product. So think about this too, is adjusters that are problem adjusters, not necessarily on training. All IA firms, including Pacesetter, who's the best in the business on training, certainly want to help their adjusters and train and get them to be better and be a part of the team. But if you have other issues and you're constantly arguing or your cycle times are suffering and you're not getting better on those things, then it's going to end up where you're not going to get as many claims. And over time, you may be phased out of that IA firm, maybe not using you as much, or maybe not using you altogether. So again, it all revolves back and ends up with you. How successful do you want to be? How long do you want to stay in this business? And how much money do you want to make? So there's a lot of opportunities and people that are willing to help in situations that you can learn from and experience from and be much better adjusters. It behooves you to do that. So lastly, let's end on what elite adjusters do. Elite adjusters, in a nutshell, do everything at an extremely high level. Everything. The way they scope, their knowledge level is very high of all kinds of things, not just with the software and estimate writing, but with material identification, repair methodologies, construction, how to scope, how to talk to people, how to time manage. That's another big important thing, is learning how to manage your time properly. How they speak to people, how elite adjusters write their narratives, their grammar, their punctuation, their spelling. Everything those people do is at a top tier elite level. This doesn't just apply, if you think about it, to adjusters. It can apply to anybody in any walk of life, even not necessarily work related, just being a top tier human being. That involves a lot. It is top tier because it's elite, Not very many people can do that or want to do it. It takes work. It takes training. It takes patience. It takes concentration. And above all, it takes a desire and a willingness to do it, to want to do this, to want to excel. So something that you might want to think about, you don't have to be a top tier elite adjuster, best in the world to work in this business and be successful. Absolutely not. You don't have to be there to do that. What that will do is the cream of the crop will just put you at the cream of the crop level. You will prosper a little bit more, but what it will do is it gives you that little extra bump to get more claims, to make more money, to be more efficient, and in a long-term career to be able to move around through the people and networking and your experience that you will get, to be able to move into other positions. Maybe later down the road, you don't want to be in the field anymore. You want to go into management, file review. Maybe you want to go into desk adjusting. Maybe you want to go into the director side. Maybe you want to go into underwriting. There's all kinds of other fields that may open up for you as you move down your adjusting road and gain more knowledge and experience. But the elite top tier adjusters are going to be able to move a little bit further and in a little wider scope. Again, you don't have to be that. You can be very successful and not be in that tier. But I just wanted to point that out to you. If you want to do that, there are certain things that you need to do that. Below that, you can be a very good adjuster, strong. You may not be quite at the cream of the crop, but you are going to work. You're going to be highly respected, and you will have a long, prosperous career. So it just depends on what you want out of your career setting. So I hope that helps and just gives you some things to think about. If you have any questions, certainly call anyone at Pacesetter. We'll put you in touch with the right people and do everything we can to bring you in on the team and to help you be that successful adjuster. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you on the next training video.